When developing my fiscal plan, the first thing that I really needed to think about was the budget model and what budget model I was going to use. So, budget models are extremely important in athletic departments as they are how the department tracks what money they spend and where they spend that money. And so, I personally would use the zero-based budget. And I feel like this model may be more time consuming, but the end it is the most effective. So the way this model works is that each program is started with a budget of $0, and the coach or the manager or whoever handles that money for each sports team um, is able to make a list of their expenses, and they have to justify why they need that specific thing. And there is absolutely no expense that is automatically okay. And so when the coach justifies why they need a certain thing, it goes to the administration, and the administration really looks into, do they really need this right now? Is this an expense that is a necessity and that is essential to their season? And so, with those expenses not ever automatically being okay, the athletic department can kind of track who's spending what and what they're spending it on. I really like this budget model because I've seen a lot of different sports teams that um, their budget doesn't roll over to the next year. And so that money that's just sitting in their budget at the end of the year that they had not used kind of just goes to waste. And so this is a way that the athletic department really makes sure that no money is being wasted. And then also, I believe that there are some sports teams that need more money in their budget than other sports teams. And so this is a really good way to be able to track what sports teams need more money and they're able to justify why they need those specific things for their season. And so it's not like every team's getting the same budget because, for example, for golf, um, I know golf bags are a lot more expensive than, say, like soccer bags. And so that's like an expense that is needed, but it may cost more than like other sports teams as well. And then the last reason why I really like this system is because expenses change, the cost of expenses change from year to year. And so if I were just to give each sports team the budget they had from the previous years, well, the cost of food, the cost of gear, the cost of equipment, all those prices vary. And so it doesn't really help my teams if I give them the same exact budget as they had the previous years or the past few years because those prices will vary. And as long as they're able to justify exactly why do I need this for this season, then administration can give them that money for their budget. And then when thinking about the purpose of an athletic program, I believe that the overall purpose of the program as a whole is so to teach athletes life lessons that they can use forever. And so when I think of athletics, I don't necessarily think, oh, are the teams winning? Are they losing? I want to know what is the student um, getting out of being on the sport and being sure that they are learning those life lessons through being on the sport. So it teaches them how to manage their time and as they're going to be balancing school, sports, social life, kind of teaches them how to manage their time when dealing with a bunch of different obstacles at one time. It also helps them develop traits such as character, discipline, and persistence, which are all things that they will need to use when they have a career of their own later down the road. Also, as I mentioned, time management, they learn how to do this in a healthy way, in a way that works best for them. So, not everybody is able to manage their time in the same exact way. For example, not everyone's going to go to bed at 8 o'clock and wake up early in the morning to get things done. Some people might be night owls and they need to figure that kind of out. What is the healthy way for them to manage that time? So there are many objectives in an athletic department as well, and one of them being the physical fitness aspect of it. So working out, doing cardio, keeping your body in a healthy shape, just to make sure that you stay healthy as well. And then the development of physical or mental awareness. So with a mental awareness, this can be with like self-pride, teamwork, self-discipline, decision-making, and sportsmanship. So these are all things that are developed when being a student athlete. Also, it develops character. And some things that fall under your character are the trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, fairness, and caring. And then the last thing that I really wanted to touch on is the development of community and of acceptance and pride. And so building that positive public image, because everyone is viewing this athletic department and you want to make sure they are viewing it in a positive way. Being consistently competitive in all sports, that is extremely important. Um, Being competitive, but in a respectful way, is something that is extremely important. And then it encourages active community support and involvement. So getting those student athletes out in the community, having them doing some fundraisers or some volunteer hours, just kind of building that community engagement and involvement with the community. So when thinking about donations and how they will be handled, this kind of looks a little bit different depending on if it is for the athletic department as a whole or if it is for an individual team. So if it is for the athletic department as a whole, those will be used for anything that the athletic department pays for. So there's a specific amount, that the athletic department pays for each team to travel. They also pay for like pullovers for the coaches. So those are the things that the athletic department donations will go for. And then with the team donations, this will look a little bit different. And so with donations for individual teams, this is something that will not be pulled from the zero-based budget and something that will not have to be justified. And so if someone in the community was to give a donation to this specific individual team, that individual team could use it to maybe like buy shirts for the team, maybe travel gear, maybe whatever they want to do, they can spend that donation money towards, and they do not have to justify this. So this could either be like a necessity or something that they've been wanting, but it does have to benefit their team in some sort of way to be sure that that money is not going to waste. Also, with controlling the cost of a program, this kind of goes into the zero-based budget model. Um, this model controls the cost that each team is using, as nothing is ever okayed automatically. The department is able to track what is being bought, and how that money is being used. And so they're able to kind of control the cost of what those teams are, or they're able to control what the teams are spending. And if they see a team put something in there that maybe they don't need this year, but they need next year, the other team will jump and they will get what they need. So, for example, if a team needs game balls so that they are able to compete, that will come before a team that needs travel gear, or something that the team can go without. So all those necessities and essentials for the season will definitely come first, which is a good way for administration to be able to control the cost of what each team is spending. Fundraising is also a huge part in the athletic department, as fundraising is a way that a lot of things can be purchased. And I believe in having an all department fundraiser, and then also each team individually doing a fundraiser as well on their own. So the whole department fundraising could be where we have each student athlete is responsible for selling so many like NFL cards or cookies or t-shirts. And so that's a way to make it fair for that, so that each individual has to sell a certain amount and not each team, as I know that the team sizes vary based on the sport. And so that would be an example of like the whole department fundraiser. And then all that money just like in the donations will be put into the pool where the athletic department will take out money when they have to pay for like different teams to travel or for like coaching gear and that sort of thing. And then each team will be having to come up with ways on their own to fundraise as well. And with this money, unlike the donations, this money would also be put back into the zero-based budget model. And so the money that is made by each individual team will then be sent to the athletic department. And then that administration, that's the pool money that every team can pull from. So it's a way that every team is helping, but we're making sure that this team that we, or this money that we are fundraising is getting used in a way that is needed for all seasons. So all the money that's fundraised from each individual team will put back in the pool of money, and that's where we're going to be taking the money out for the zero-based budget model, when coaches justify why they need what they need.